Yo, and what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we will be talking about the comment from Mr. Charlie Poynton. Hey Mike, I've been watching your video a lot and also your streams when I get the chance. Thank you very much for that. Just wanted to ask you what made you want to play Rush Royale when it first came out. I'll gladly tell you what made me really get stuck with Rush Royale, but before that I'll show you my deck real quick. Today we'll be playing Robot, left, right, left for maximum stacks. We're going for left, left, right on Kobold, left, left, right on Gunslinger, and all left side on Trapper, as much as all left side on Mr. Harlequin here. So the goal is to get 5 robots on 5 choice tiles. I know usually you go for 1 or 2, but today we will be going for 5 robots and we just make them as crazy as possible. And yeah, this is what we're going to do. Reinforcements for the floating board with units, then we go for Abundance, we go for Counterspell because we don't have any cleanse, and Relic of Sacrifice just because it's the best in the game, you know what I'm saying? So, what made me play Rush 5 years ago when I started to play Rush? It was mainly the coop mode that we had back then, like endless coop. That was my absolute go-to. I was fire and flame for that mode because although you had many less units and much less content in the game in general, the game was much more balanced. From all the units you had, you were basically able to more or less play everything and compete with everything. So there was no Wukong that totally ruins the game by being completely overpowered. There was, yeah, just different units like Inquisitor, Tesla, and Boreas even, and many other OG units that you were able to slowly upgrade and build different decks around them. Also, Frost was a thing, like slowing down units. Stasis was a thing, like so many different units were actually a thing if you just played them very well. So the balance wasn't as off as it is now, so we were actually able to play most of the game's content if you were just good enough, basically. So that's the whole thing that really got me going. Yeah, just the variety, the excitement of building different decks, trying to compete with all the other decks, and yeah, change up the decks if you didn't find too much success. It was just much more exciting to actually build stuff, and that's what really kept me in this game in the beginning. Also, the co-op that I just mentioned was amazing because it was basically an endless co-op, but everything was always the same. Every unit, every monster, every boss, every level had the same amount of monsters, the same amount of bosses. There was the same boss at level 40 every single time. And yeah, you were really able to do crazy stuff or like prepare onto these bosses. If you couldn't find the level 5, couldn't beat the level 40 boss, you were able to build a new deck and try to specifically beat this boss because you were always aware of what comes when, stuff like that. That was really cool because you were able to do some sort of progress, if you know what I mean. Like, you managed to get to wave 32, you had no bad surprises like incredibly overpowered bosses like you have now. You always knew where you stand basically, and you can compare every run with the next run and just try to improve. This was the coolest thing, especially in co-op, because there is actually there was like a wall of on the boss on wave 40 because it was so tough. There was very few people in general that actually beat this boss. And then they started to come up with strategies to beat that specific boss. They started to share information. how can we beat this guy and stuff like that. That was very, very exciting. And this kind of variety got lost over the years really, really hard, unfortunately, by Rush just pumping out new content like Madman's, while they don't really care about balancing the game as much as they used to. It's just they just drop new stuff, it's go totally broken, and instead of like balancing out the rest of the game or the existing content, they just wash it away with new content. This is basically the thing that I think is the saddest in general about this game at the current state, because if you look now, right now, they said they were going to do a variety update, and now the ladder is just completely full of Wukong. Nobody plays anything else because Wukong is just absolutely busted. Yeah, this is just the things that makes me sad. I was so hyped for the update with the variety and finally get to build like different decks again, other than just the Giga Pantheon meta. But for now, although they did buff some old units, that does absolutely nothing if you at the same time just drop the most craziest units, craziest unbalanced unit I've ever seen, which is a monk. The monkey. Yeah, it's just, I mean, I've seen so many clips of people that have a level 9 Wukong and they just beat max level Valkyries, which is the second best deck of the game, but the difference between Wukong and even Valkyrie is so gigantic that you don't even need to try, man. They had level 9 Wukong and they beat reincarnation level 3 Valkyries. I mean, come on guys, you can't make this up for real. This is just, yeah, it's just a meme at this point. And yeah, it's for me it's very, very frustrating, unfortunately. And this used to be different. In the good old days, you had just way more options to actually build decks. Slow used to be a thing. Stasis even used to be a thing with Inquisitor and stuff like that. Yeah, there were so many different decks and builds you were able to go for, and they all did more or less perform well. And if you were really good at the game, you'd actually manage to get an advantage over other people just by being just good at the game. And this got completely lost with this crazy imbalance of units and consistently dropping new stuff that first of all nobody asks for, and second of all is so overpowered that you simply can throw away whatever else you've invested your hard-earned money into, or whatever you grinded to get over the past couple of years. So yeah, this is what made me stay with the game. The possibility to create new decks, to experiment new things, to just go wild with new stuff. And yeah, this is very sad to me that this changed to the point where it completely died. What kept me in this game for so long completely died within like the last year. Yeah, this is it's very sad. And they did say in the last update that they were aware of the issues and they will fix them. They gave Inquisitor a little buff and yeah, some other OG units, which I think was absolutely the right direction and got me very, very hyped. But from what I've seen, they did that, but still nobody picks up these units because there is Wukong in the game. And if you have Wukong, you don't need to play anything else because it's so busted. Yeah. And this is not the variety that they were talking about. So yeah, in theory, I appreciate them. In reality, it's just one more horrible update towards one unit that gets played over and over again and basically wins every single game. So yeah, I hope it's just a blunder from them, and they accidentally put a few too many zeros on that hero, and they will fix it very soon and finally do more updates towards variety, building different decks other than just one or two decks that dominate the game. But honestly, man, it's the same topic since years, although they finally did something towards the right direction, which I think is very cool, and I hope this is gonna continue, and I have a small little bit of hope still left that they're gonna fix it. But yeah, it's just they disappointed me one too many times, I guess, to actually believe it's going to yeah, improve the game in the long run. But hey, I'm very happy if they prove me the opposite. I would be more than happy. I would actually be giga thrilled about it. But yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, cool thing with Cope was also most people didn't get past level 60 because I think, what boss was it? I think like a Warlock, I think was the boss. He had so much HP and he healed himself, so most people couldn't get through it. And then some people finally managed to get through the boss. That was amazing, and people were super happy to beat it, and everybody was excited, like, oh, what's next? What's coming next? Is it like a new boss? Or people really didn't know back then, because yeah, it was like something you do together. You improve yourself together. Nobody in clan knew what comes after the boss at level 80, for example. And then we, step by step, really managed to get past 80, stuff like that. And at some point, we even got to wave 100 and killed even the boss there. And suddenly at wave, I think it was 105 or something like that, the unthinkable happened. There were suddenly two bosses coming up at the boss wave, and they had crazy HP. So like 104, 105 it was, like that, was the moment where most people didn't get any further, and they tried over months new strategies to actually beat this wave. Which was cool, because it was fair. It was always the same. You can actually make progress and stuff like that. That was amazing. And yeah. And then suddenly you beat that level and just managed to get even a little bit further. You had no leaderboard, you had no nothing, but it was like one community that shared their experiences and gave tips and tricks and everything. GG Mr. Bullfrag, also a very cool streamer. Check this guy out. And yeah, that's just... it was so exciting. And you had something to compare. So if you didn't like one specific deck, you just played another and you realized, oh, this is slightly stronger, or it helps me more in that situation, And yeah, you had such a big variety of decks you were able to choose from. And now the game has way more content, which should actually cause the game to be even more exciting, because you have so much variety. But unfortunately, the balance is so much off between those units that in the end, if you really want to get any further or whatever, then you just have to play the very same unit, very same deck over and over and over again. They said they wanted to bring in more variety and not just have a checklist on you of units, which is right now you go for Wukong, you go for Kobold because it's still by far the best damage amplifier. You go for this one because it's still by far the best second damage amplifier. And then you go for whatever else is needed in your deck. Usually Harlequin and whatever is left. So yeah, very specific amount of units you have to have in every single deck. So no variety there. And yeah, I hope they manage to change it very soon, because at this point it's just not fun anymore. It's not fun to play the same deck over and over and over again. And this game got big because of the variety, because of the excitement, because of the experiencing from new decks and stuff like that. And right now it's just one deck that you play and buy it, win every game, don't buy it, lose every game that you run into this deck. So I just hope they're gonna fix this stuff, because the game at this point is really not worth paying thousands of dollars into anymore, because yeah, it's not fun anymore to do it like this. Yeah, that was a little bit depressing, but I hope the Rush Royale balancing team wakes up what in regards of balancing, because they did say they want more variety. So that's fine. That's very good. It's very welcome. Everybody loves that. Now they just need to show that they mean it and actually do something. And yeah, buffing a few old units and dropping a super giga broken unit like Wukong in the game at the same time is it's just not it, man. It's definitely not it. So yeah, let's see what the next couple of weeks bring, and let's hope they're gonna fix the game. And yeah, looking forward for the next video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and enjoyed to see something else. I was lucky to not run into a Wukong for now, but yeah, that's rarely the case in my league in the first place. So I'm happy I was able to actually play and win even a match with Robot. So that was cool. Hope you liked it too. Peace out, and yeah, comment some topics so I can talk about it in the next run. And with that, I wish you a wonderful Sunday. Enjoy. Peace out.